Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Joffrey Noodle Legs here today. Today I've got another movie, a Noodle movie review. Today we're looking at the first Paranormal Activity. So let's have a little look at this edition first. This is just a normal standard Blu-ray, which is from the new Ultimate collection of Paranormal Activity. It's nothing really ultimate about it, but there we go. This is the normal sort of Blu-ray edition. So first, to give you a little synopsis of the film. The film sort of starts off where we meet our characters, Katie and Mikkel.
Hello, baby. Yes, I don't know what you think it is, but whatever it is, it's pretty sweet.
I think it's a giant-ass camera. What happened to like the little handheld? You can move around, versatile.
Are you gonna park the car? Or are you gonna stand there looking at it?
This is big and impressive, and it has a really bright light on it.
Just the camera, please.
I'm not gonna see the camera. How much does this cost you?
So he's bought a rather large sort of like video camera, and he's sort of like I'm not sure if she's impressed by it or whatever, but why he hasn't bought just a little hand camera, I don't know. But anyway, he's bought a rather large one, and he sort of follows her around with it.
Dinner?
Just keep going up the stairs.
Oh my god.
Alright, I'll make it.
Good.
No, we're just gonna phone, whatever happens to us, and then when any weird shit goes on, we will be in a perfect position to capture it, request it.
Oh, so we can always like look back and remember fondly?
Well, hopefully once we get on camera, we can figure out what's going on.
Okay.
Once we know.
So the movie sort of takes sort of like about sort of like 10 minutes of like just getting to sort of like know and see the characters for a little bit, really.
You're supposed to be in love with me,
Well,
not the machine.
well, we are going to be sleeping with this camera,
You're gonna what?
We're going to put it in the bedroom.
All night?
Uh-huh.
You're cute.
Yeah.
Look at that, that was shy. He just looked away.
Anytime.
And he sort of continues to not stalk her, but follow around wherever she goes with the bloody camera.
We could get.
As soon as it's gotta get old, right?
We could get.
Take care of you guys are going to the shower.
Extracurricular with this. I not mentioned it before.
Could, but no.
Okay.
Nice try though.
I just want you to know I'm crying inside. I'm putting in the speak next. Okay, now hook up the firewire. Going off.
And he sort of sets the camera up in the bedroom, and then we're on night one. So they sort of settle down into bed, and you can see the camera gives you the sort of night camera sort of view, like the blue, like in that. And about sort of 2 o'clock in the morning, you start to hear sort of like sort of banging on the wall. So not a lot happens on that night, just that you get the indication that there is something there in the house with them. Then they bring in like a sort of a doctor who deals with hauntings and ghosts.
Hi, Dr. Connors?
Yeah,
Yes,
hi.
hello.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Come on in. This is Mika.
Oh, hi, Mika.
Sorry for the,
So can you see ahead of like that kind of thing? Like, knowing the tracks from the dead?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you see ahead?
Yeah.
Oh, usually it depends on the day of the week or the time of the day, you know.
Like all of us.
I never hesitate when somebody says when you come to San Diego. I'm always ready to do that.
Well, I'm certainly glad you could make the trip today. We really do appreciate it.
I'd like to spend a little bit of time getting to know you, getting a little bit more information than what we shared over the telephone, getting to know both of you, what's your life like, what's your relationship like.
It's good.
It's good. Well, that's
And then the sort of while the doctor's there, you sort of get a bit of background about the story about Katie, about where the this entity has sort of followed her about really since she's a young girl.
me that it's moved from where you were living when you were 8, again when you were living someplace else when you were 13, and now here. It seems to me that that's what we're dealing with, something that's basically connected to you.
These lights have been flickering. These ones that are in the ceiling.
Uh-huh.
We've had water from the faucets turn on and off unexplainably. You know, it will come down, not turn on and off, it will come down and it'll be on. We've heard banging on the walls, scratching sounds, like, you know, like dragging down the wall kind of scratches.
Most of the activity's in here, isn't it?
Yes, the vast majority of it.
So then Kate goes on to the doctor and explains to him that she hears him whispering her name to her at night.
Typically calls your name.
It has before.
You've heard this too, Nika?
Well, I've heard like weird noises. I haven't really heard anyone say Katie's name except for me. That might have been me in my sleep.
I can tell the difference between you saying Katie from over there in the bed and something right here whispering distinctly in my ear.
Yeah, so look, and I got like Firewire going into my laptop. You know, we can record all night. What, you want to take this? Got the tripod, wide angle lens, get the whole room. EVP recorder, just to catch any sounds.
So you'll go to bed and have the light on and have the camera going as you're just normally going to bed. Do you do this all the time?
Well, we just recently started with the camera. She got your way.
As the conversation carries on, Mikhail, you tend to find that he's really quite doesn't believe it and all that, and is quite of a little bit sort of judgmental about it and doesn't believe in it or anything. And the doctor sort of warns him if he sort of like invites it to the house, it's just going to cause them more and more problems.
Stuff happen, you know, to like get on tape.
No, I told him I don't even want to mess with that. I didn't even want to get a camera.
These hauntings, they feed off of negative energy. So if there is something negative going on here, it will help spur on the haunting. You know, this entity may feed off of that.
She don't let your mother come over anymore. It's fine.
Sure. My area of expertise is dealing with ghosts. That's what I built my career around, helping people get in touch with people who have died, communicating with ghosts.
So the doctor's had a good look around the house and the conversation. He sort of sits down and breaks down to Katie what he thinks it is, and he actually believes it's not a ghost. He actually believes it's a demon.
A demon is something different. That's an entity that relates to something that is non-human. A lot of debate, a lot of discussion about what that could be, but it's not a person. Okay? Dealing with demons is not my area. I'm very uncomfortable with it, and I'll tell you quite frankly, I sense that there's something going on in this house. You cannot run from this. It will follow you. It may lay dormant for years. Something may trigger it to become more active, and it will, over time, reach out to communicate with you.
And then the film cuts to another night. So that was quite eerie and spooky, really, wasn't it? Seeing the door moving on its own. Then the next day, Mikhail shows Kate the video.
The flowers are not moving. Something else is. door's freaking moving by itself.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
it's not over. Check it out. It moves again.
Oh my god, that is.
That's so awesome.
Again, throughout the day, we have more sort of jibber jabber about the sort of things and events that are going on, and Kate's sort of like really worried about him. Mikhail's again still sort of brushing it all off, trying to be like this cool. Look at me, this is my home. I will protect you. I will do everything. You know, he's got absolutely no idea whatever. But then it cuts to again another night.
I just had a nightmare. Oh, I'm tired. Oh,
You okay?
yeah.
Sure.
So she sort of wakes up there like that and explains, and then they hear some sort of noises coming from downstairs.
What's going on? Take this. Where do you think that came from? Anyone down here? That's all you got?
Oh, you gotta stop.
It then cuts to another day, and we have again more sort of them talking about what happened the night before and things like this. And she still wants to get this because obviously the ghost sort of doctor who deals with hauntings has recommended a sort of a demonologist that could come around and maybe assist, but he's out of the country at the moment. But she still wants to try and contact him. So then we go to another night.
Here. Good. Where?
So as you see, as the nights progress, the activity is becoming more sort of like consistent. And I think this is mostly down to Mikkel to blame, if you ask me, because he keeps trying to invite this thing out. He keeps saying, "Come on, show yourself, show yourself," and then he wants to do this sort of like Ouija board thing, which she is totally against. And he's trying to almost invite the demon into the house, which that doctor said to him, "Don't do it, you know, don't do it." But he seems to, well, that's what he wants to do, and she's very anti. And every night it seems to get a lot more sort of like active, and then on the next night it sort of like really affects Kate. So Kate gets up and sort of stands there staring at Mikkel for about 2.5 hours in the same spot, not moving. Really strange. And then she sort of goes wandering off out, and she sort of ends up outside in the garden, sitting on a swing chair. And Mikkel wakes up and goes looking for her and finds her sitting outside. And in the next morning, she's actually got no clue that that's happened. And then it just sort of like goes on and on and on like that. And that's all I'm going to tell you on my synopsis. So what is going to happen? Every night, this demon is getting more active, and it's getting more violent every night, and sort of like not necessarily violent with the people as such, but violent with his actions. So what happens? Do they find the demon? Do they get the demonologist in, or does the doctor come back and help them, or does Mikkel be the hero and save the day? What happens, or what's happening to Kate? Obviously, there's something from Kate's childhood. This is a demon that's been following her since a young child. So it's obviously something that's connected to her. Or is it? You need to find out yourself and watch the film. What do I think of the film? It's still incredible. It still freaks me out to this day. I watched it last night and I forgot totally how much this film really freaks me out. And it did absolutely. It is a scary film. It is really, really scary. Very few films scare me. The Blair Witch did, and the Paranormal Activity films do. I just find them terrifying, just because it's shot like normal people. They don't even appear to be like actors. They just seem to be like general Joe off the street. You know what I mean? So, and that's what makes it work. And the fact that it's all just filmed on sort of like his video camera gives it even more sort of a realistic sort of view. So it freaks me out. The film's amazing. It's an amazing film. It's a great, great, great series of movies. But please be warned. They're freaking scary. If you don't like scary things and you don't like things that are sort of like the unknown, sort of demonic. This is not really a sort of haunting or anything. This is a demonic sort of film. It's like a demon that's following this woman around. If you don't like things like that, they really freak you out. Don't watch it, because it will freak you out for days and nights. It really will. I remember it did when I first saw it, and it still does to this day. And I remembered how bloody good it is. Such a good film. The positives of the film, the transfer is good. It's the Blu-ray edition of the film, so it's still quite good. You're not going to get much more improvement on the actual film quality, because it's filmed supposed to look like the way it is. So it still looks really good. The story is fantastic. The two characters, Mikkel and Kate, are really good. They really play the role really well and really convince him. I want to tell you what happens, but I can't. I don't want to spoil it. But all I'm going to say, it does lead on to the next one, the sort of storyline a little bit. So, but it's really, really cool. It's such a good film. The minuses, well, it's a bit difficult really, because there isn't any, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, I suppose what I would love to have seen, not really a minus, was a bit more backstory of them investigating and looking up the demon and finding out what the actual demon was, who it is, what demon it is. That sort of thing would have been awesome, because I love that sort of thing. There is a little bit in there when Mikkel's looking at a book called Devils, Demons and Witches, which I've got actually. It's a really good book. He's looking through that. And sort of like, I wish it had gone along the lines of that, but it's not really a negative, but I would have liked to have seen that in the film. I'm going to give this film a awesome watch and give it a 9 out of 10. I'm not going to give it a 10 out of 10 because it's not for everyone. And because if I score it 10 out of 10, you think, oh, it's going to be an amazing film, just recommend it's 10 out of 10. No, it's not for everyone. There's going to be a percentage of you that don't like these sort of like things that sort of messing around with the unknown, sort of spirits and sort of Ouija board sort of thing. A lot of people don't really like that because they think it's too, I don't know, they could awaken stuff. And this is what this film pretty much is. It's about them awakening a demon that Kate's been carried around. It kind of starts off really strange, the film, because they're already experiencing it, and we've joined them at the point where he's bought a camera because they want to sort of like investigate where it's coming from. So it is kind of like already happening to them. So I quite like that, to be honest. I think rather than it jumping in all of a sudden, it's just sort of happening, and it's already happening before the film starts. So I quite like that. So that's the first one of the box set, Paranormal Activity. I will review a few more in this box set. I had a great time last night watching it. Really cool to revisit it. Yeah, so I've given it a 9 out of 10. Go and check out some horror channels for me, guys, before the next video. Check out Horror Hands, The Horror Geek, Man v Film, RS Designs, Pizzlewell. Check out Horror in Todge, Sarah of Horror, and I Am Mystor. Some great horror channels out there, guys. Please check them all out. They're all worth your time, and you know, just great channels and fantastic people. The horror community are great people. They really are. They're really kind and sort of like really sort of sweet people, although they like these sort of really horrible films. But check them all out anyway. Guys, until next time, look after yourselves, look after one another, and I really hope that I will see you all soon.